So let's talk about divorces and why they really end up happening, right?
Mhm.
The idea of a woman just like being like, well, I'm going to leave you and take half your stuff. Humans don't really think that way. That's not really what motivates women to get into divorces. Because most humans do not want to see themselves as bad people. And if you know them well, they're not going into marriage like that. So when you see women end up in divorces, social contagion is usually the biggest issue. It's all of their
Really?
friends are getting divorced. Everyone in their community is getting a
Are they
divorce.
just egging people like does a woman have a bad relationship and she tries to make all the other women around her also have bad relationships?
No, it's that a woman has made a bad choice and they're trying to sell to themselves most of all, and then to the people around them that they didn't make a bad choice. So they end up starting a divorce path or something like that, and then they sort of need constant affirmation because they feel like they've made a mistake. So they keep going to their friends, being like, hey, like, divorce is the best. Look at how much fun it is. Look, after I'm divorced, I'm having so much fun dating. I'm
Jeez.
having, and then divorce
It's just
becomes,
ruining everyone else's relationships. I mean, I guess maybe that's like the point, but that's
well,
dark.
yeah, kind of, right? If you're getting a divorce, the very last thing you want people to conceive is divorce as being a pathetic sign of failure, right?
Mhm.
So they've recontextualized it. It's classy. Yeah, I was actually at a Heritage Foundation event and I was talking with a guy who is from LA, and he talked about how divorce spread through his suburbs like a wildfire. He's like, it just became really, really cool,
What in the
where
fuck? Cool.
being a divorcee was like, I'm independent, I'm doing my own thing. But being a wife, that was like, I'm kind of cucked, right? Like, I'm kind of
Yeah.
pathetic, right? So everybody wanted that divorcee label, right? The second thing that I think leads to divorces with men and women are just like very poorly set out expectations at the beginning of the relationship, right?
Yeah.
Like, is the man expected to always earn, more money every year until whenever, or is it just about striving towards a specific lifestyle or a specific goal? And the other thing that leads to divorce is lack of ability to deal with different inherited, often cultural expectations around self-control. And I don't really think there's that much else.
I find it funny that as soon as Leaflit introduces Malcolm to the troubles of the VTuber industry, he's becoming the Henry Ford of rigging.
Well, as soon as I saw the problems that riggers have been causing in the VTuber industry, it's just rampant, right? And the funny thing is it reminds me of the the thing when we went over how women actually produced most of the calories historically until the invention of the plow. And one
Yeah,
of
I
my
was talking
favorite
about
comments,
this. I was talking about that on
yeah,
stream.
one of
Yeah.
my favorite comments under our video on that is somebody is like, so wait, men take over farming like 200 years ago. Women have been doing it for literally thousands of years, and men are like, after 200 years of doing it, like, fuck it, let's invent a tractor. Right? Like, Malcolm finds out about VTubing, like, 2 days later, like, fuck it, let's invent a tractor.
Well, I mean, honestly, it does make sense though. Like even along those lines, right? It is like the relationship of women keeping things going and then men achieving like the leaps that humanity makes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's great. Yeah, it's a symbiotic thing. It's like we need to work together.
Yep. But okay, so back to women. What I want to like elucidate for people is women in aggregate. Okay, actually, it reminds me of that scene from Men in Black. I don't know if you remember this scene from Men in Black when he's like, humans, like individuals, are like kind and caring and everything like that, but people are panicky, scary, selfish, etc. Right? Like, is sort of delineating between the two of them, right?
Yeah.
Women as a community are selfish, narcissistic, myopic, and kind of evil. But women as individuals can be kind and caring and mothers and awesome and completely dedicated to you. And both of these things can be true at once, right? And don't allow the way that women act in a crowd, like when they're flocking, right? Like, to the way
They're
that
flocking.
women...
A swarm,
like in
a
Jurassic Park, like they're
swarm of
flocking
women.
right towards us. That's the way I feel when I go out and I see like bachelorette parties in the UK where they all get drunk. I'm like, they're flocking right
It's like
towards
a
us.
gaggle of women. Like,
I hide beneath a log and they start like jumping over it.
it's like that anime thing. Like, women are monsters and men were their
Yeah.
playthings.
But anyway, so what I'm saying is do not allow the negative experiences you have with women in aggregate create these negative behavior patterns because they cue to the normative, ideological and social idea. When they're not in these environments, they are not always that bad, right? Especially if you talk things through with them until the point where you have an aligned value system.
So what you're saying is you have to groom your girlfriend.
Yeah, you got to groom your girlfriend. You got to learn to groom, right? This Leaflit knows what's up. Leaflit is teaching you guys how to handle this. And look, if you can groom a child, you can groom a woman, okay? Like, let's put it this way, right?
God.
Like, think of the crazy things. This is actually like, remember, by the way, Kicks rather than... Oh, no, it's not. Okay. Remember how I said, like, I wanted to be like a cult leader as a kid and I got really obsessed with brainwashing, right? So I became really obsessed with like, how do you, because like brainwashing, you can make people believe anything. You can make people as dedicated as you want. You can.
Yeah.
So I got really obsessed with all of that. And then people are like, huh, why is like Malcolm's wife so like sane acting? Because I brainwashed her. Completely wiped her brain. Scrub a dub, right? And so no, not exactly that, but the point is that you can significantly Malcolm succeeded with Leaflit. Yeah, you know how you'll know I succeeded with Leaflit when Leaflit has a husband and kids. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Well, I will say though
sorry,
that I will say though that after watching you and Simone a lot more, that I definitely want that a lot more than before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, and I didn't know it was possible until I had it, right? Like, I told Simone, as I always say, you're going to be my first wife, right? Because, like, my dad had 5 wives, right? Like,
Yeah.
I thought it was overly arrogant and self-confident to think I'd have one wife, right? Like, of course Simone's parents had both had multiple marriage partners before.
Damn.
You know, so I was like, yeah, everybody gets divorced. Now that I'm married to her, I'm like, oh my God, why would you ever get divorced, right? And I think it's because boomers structured their relationships really idiotically.
And a lot of this,
80% of first-time marriages are forever, somebody says. And yeah, that is true in the stats. A lot of the divorces are second-time marriages and stuff like that.
so like you talk about this in like your guide. You have a guide that you made about relationships. Is that like in there? Because I haven't read that one yet.
There's been stuff I learned since then, right? Malcolm's dad was a zoom, check him. Yeah. So one of the things that I learned is so we've had some fans reach out to us about this sword and shield relationship concept, and some of our fans are like, you can't do that. Not every man can want to change the world or whatever, right? One of our couples, it's a female fan, because again, we have a lot of female fans.
Yeah.
And she reached out to us about how much this concept that we first laid out a couple years ago has really transformed her and her husband's relationship. And what her husband has been focused on is not like what I'm focused on, like saving the world. He's focused on trying to remake the local sports leagues. And specifically, he's really annoyed at like this sort of like show pony sports league where you drive to other states all the time to compete against whatever, you know, and it's not something you can do when you have like 7 kids, right? You know, it's for like rich people to treat their kids like show ponies, like dressage horses, right? He's like, can we just like have sports that's fun for kids, right? And inexpensive and easy to do. You know, you drop your kids off, they have fun. They get some exercise. And it's like, it's not that a man needs a goal. It's that a woman needs a man with a goal.
Yes.
Is the point, right?
I totally agree with that.
That's the core thing women want in a man more than anything. More than your looks or anything like that.
Holy crap.
Like women.
This
what?
like this echoes exactly how I feel.
Yeah. So women want to play support. Like when people are like women play support, but they don't want to play support to somebody who's not playing towards anything, right?
Yeah.
Like if you are just playing towards your own happiness or some sort of like stupid, like, oh, I'm just doing whatever. They want to join something where they're like, my work in my life is fixing society in some way through helping a guy. And so this woman who is reaching out is like, now that my husband's doing this, and I'm like, I actually heard her husband doing this. I'm like, that's actually like an actual need. Like, good for you, man.
See, this is like somebody in chat said One Piece captain, because that's what I said. I tried to describe this before, like this phenomenon or whatever, this feeling that like you're talking about, and that's how I described it. Is like a person that would be like a One Piece captain, and like it doesn't really matter. Like the goal could be like, I want to find the most delicious banana in the world, and I will find it. Right? Like,
well, it matters a little. It matters a little. Like girls don't want to. So like if your hobby or your goal is entirely self-interested. So like let's contrast these. The person who wants to be the very best like StarCraft player or something like that.
Yeah.
Or the very best person at like growing a type of pepper, because you know some guys like doing this stuff, right? Like this is unlikely to get a woman super hot for you, right? Or super feeling like she's dedicating her, because fundamentally that's a thing that you're doing for yourself, for like the art of the craft. Whereas the guy who's out there, and the reason I use the Little League guy as an example is because
it's building.
Society is falling apart in so many ways due to its current indulgence.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Mm-hmm.
And Little League guy basically went out there and was like, children's sports no longer are economically viable. They no longer make sense. They're no longer really about the kids. Like, and there's so many little broken things about society like this. And so now she's like, oh, I'm supporting him because he's rebuilding a part of civilizational infrastructure. And that's what women like to do, right? Is participate in supporting somebody who's rebuilding components of civilizational infrastructure. Mm-hmm. And or building new ones, or you know, anything like that, you know.
Yeah.
And again, one of the things I say about women that I think some guys sort of forget is women are humans. And some guys are like, oh yeah,
deep.
I just want a woman who's like turned on by serving me or something, right? Like they learn about this from like the red pill or whatever, and like I'm just gonna be really dommy and whatever, and like a woman can be into that in bed, but she's still a human being, and she wants more. Like, while she may want to be a service to the guy in his life, she still wants more than to just service some sort of like banal ambition, right?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense, right? Yeah, fair.
And somebody's like, Hollywood. So keep in mind, right, when somebody's like,
depends
all
on the
women have been
context,
brainwashed,
though.
this is not really as true as you think.
I feel like the context matters a lot in the thing, right? So like if your goal was, I mean, to go back to what I said, to discover the most delicious banana in the world, so that you could share it with everybody, and then it would make bananas better in the whole world. That like kind of changes the context of it.
Yeah. Somebody's like, they want a businessman, CEO, Hawaiian dynamic. Yeah, but like a businessman doesn't mean that like you have to go out and start a business. Again, you can do something local. You can do something. I want to find a way to make this crop easier to grow in this region or something like that, right? Like, as a hobby, right? And a woman can be like, that's something meaningful, right? Like he actually wants to fix something in society.
It's the fixing. You know what? I think that's what it is. It's the fixing. It's the having the desire and the capability of solving a problem that is like a real problem.
Somebody's like, too many chefs, not enough Indians. I mean, we're blessed in that we live in a society that's full of Indians. They're tearing everything down. That civilization's being raided. You don't really have that much competition in terms of fixing things these days. Right? Like, there's not a lot of other people out there really trying to do it in a meaningful context. But the point I was making is you take somebody like my mom, Simone, right? Like grew up in San Francisco, absolutely inundated in the urban monoculture, absolutely inundated in lefty culture, wanted to get her ovaries removed even when she was a virgin, just for like completionist's sake. She, wanted me to take her last name, very much in all of this, right? And now she's just a completely sane, normal woman, right?
Yeah.
And people are like, how? And it was like, she was never really that lefty. She was a woman who are conformist genetically. And she was surrounded by people who at least purported to have these value systems. And so she pretended to have these value systems.
Yeah.
And I won't say that every woman out there is like this, who's in these woke circles, but I'm going to go so far as to say a good 40% of them are. If you just separate them from the herd, right, and talk things through with them, there are a lot of them that aren't crazy. And that are open to new ways of approaching things in the world, right? Yeah, but I guess that's what I'm saying here is don't overly be like every woman in the crowd of women who's throwing stuff at the police cars is actually evil. A few of them just do whatever they're told.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because it's safe, right? Like if you do what everyone else is doing around you, then it secures your social position, right? Right, because if you, it's a risk, right? Like if you were to say like, if everyone, like if you were in a room of like 5 people and they were all doing the thing and then they looked at you and they're like, well, what are you doing? And then you say, no, this is dumb. Then now you just got othered, right? Now you're outside of the circle. And then then what's going to happen is being outside of the circle, they're going to sabotage you in like every way they can socially.
And keep in mind the women are sheep phenomenon, right? The reality is these guys go out there and are like, I want a woman who wants to follow me. I want a woman who wants to play support for me. If you go out there and you find one of the women who had the mental fortitude to speak against the system when all of her peers were speaking for the system, she's not going to be very good at taking your orders either. Even if she sees that hypothetically it's something she wants to do. A good example of this is somebody like Pearl Davis. Pearl Davis got out there, is the type of woman who's like, I'm not going to listen to the system. I'm going to have my own ideas. I'm going to think outside the box. And I think that we should go back to serving men. Do you think Pearl Davis is actually going to be that good at serving a guy? She's way too independent. Right? The reality is that these sheep who, not fully sheep, because I think that that's overly derogatory. These women who have brains like women, getting them out of this trap is sometimes how you find the submissive and breedable woman that you're looking for.
Well, so like, wouldn't that mean though wouldn't that disqualify? This is interesting. Does this disqualify any women on the right? Because
no, it doesn't entirely, but I'd say that the women on the right who are the most sane that I have met, and I met a lot of them, they typically started out as leftists and became rightists after they started dating the guy they married. The women on the right who seem to go fucking nanners are the ones who came to the right on their own.
Oh shit,
like,
that's me.
Candace Owens or something, right? Like, the Laura Southern, right? Like they come to the right and then they're like, or what was the one who was like super anti-Mexican immigration? Was that Laura Southern?
I am very fuck the system though, chat. Leaf's gonna go crazy.
Whatever. I know. Yeah. No, I don't think Leaf will go crazy. Probably. You never know. The one who had 10 fiancés and dumped all of them and is super like, we have to expand the white race. And it's like, but you keep breaking up with people. Like, that's not normal. But yeah, a lot of the women who, so like Leaf, I don't know, Leaf's a unique case. But outside of Leaf, most of the ones who I know who are super stable, like converted for God, like who's a great example of this is what's her name? The one who did Peachy Keenan, who did what book is that? Domestic Terrorist, about being a wife, right? She seems eminently stable and nice and fun to talk to. Whereas, like, let's look at women who went to the right on their own. You have Louise Perry. I like Louise Perry as a human being, but she's got some interesting ideas about the world now.
Candace Owens.
Yeah, Candace Owens, another one, right? Comes on her own, comes up with some interesting ideas about how things work.
I love that game that you guys have.
Ayn Rand, Ayn Rand's a perfect example. Ayn Rand is the type of woman who can stand in front of a room of men and say, you all are doing it wrong. Women should serve men. But is Ayn Rand going to serve a man, or is she going to have a polyamorous throuple like she did? Of course she is, right? Yeah, like that's the thing.
I'm trying to think
don't be too mean to Candace. She lost your mind. I'd hate to be stuck in a brain like that.
It just depends on I'm trying to think I guess it depends on nature, what the person wants out of life.
But he says find a church girl. Church girls are the ones I found most likely to go crazy. A girl who becomes a church girl because you talk things through as her. Yeah, you go normal church girl, they're the ones who get in giant cat fights over who got the biggest ring and stuff. Not Catholics. What about Catholic girl who got in the big fight over the ring and the Pope blessed her wedding and she was banging her boss? There's a reason for these stereotypes. Oh, somebody said not Catholics. Oh, I thought you meant that I was wrong about Catholics. In this, yeah, I'm not wrong about Catholics. This is one of my show's his ongoing themes, which is funny because they're the vast majority of our dedicated audience base.
But what if what if the case is if the woman is kind of a free thinker, but then I'm trying to what if she respected the guy enough, then wouldn't she listen to him?
So you're not a free thinker. Sorry, I don't mean to say this in a way that's demeaning to Leaflit. You're not a free thinker in the way Louise Perry is, or the way that Pearl Davis is, right? Mm-hmm. You're not a loose cannon just shooting at things. You're very matronly in the way that you're a free thinker. You give off a lot of mom vibes, right? Mm-hmm. You're trying to guide your community towards positive perceptions of reality. If you look at your songs and stuff like that, they're not system. They're they have an element of that, but even when you think that that's what you're doing, you always have an element of, and here's how you could do things better.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You say school, so start a business, right? It's never just rage against the machine. It's about constructively trying to make the lives of your followers better in a way that's very non-radicalizing. And I think that sort of puts you in a unique category in terms of the female influencers that I've seen. Mm-hmm. So I think that you would naturally transition into a support role really well because you with your fans already serve a support role.
I want to be a support role, and it never happens. This is the whole reason I told you this. That's the whole reason I started the company. Is because I was too crazy to join the corp and be a member of I wanted to be the non-center member of a gen, basically. But
you're not really even as I've mentioned before, in your world, you're a level 1 adventure guild secretary, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're the god of this world. You could be anything you wanted, but you chose the support role of support roles. So what am I saying? So what I'm saying is I do not think that Leaflit falls into the category here. I'm saying of not easily transitioning into a freak where she can listen to somebody. But if a woman is a well-known intellectual influencer, especially on the right, on her own, I think that she will have trouble listening to a guy. The way the friends I've seen it where it does seem to work, the female influencers where it does seem to work, is their job as an influencer. The guy who they're married to is broadly unaware of it, doesn't listen to it, doesn't engage with it.
Isn't a part of the the business.
Well, he doesn't look to her as an intellectual influencer. She's just talking to her little online idiots in his mind.
I see.
But yeah, so the point I'm making here is that it's really not as bleak as people want to make it out to be. People make it out to be bleaker because pushing through the hardness of rejection after rejection after rejection after rejection after rejection, order of magnitude 50, like that sucks. And so it's easier to just be like, well, I won't go out and try until either I fix this about myself, something that's going to take you ages, like getting ripped, or we fix society, something that's just not going to happen.
You hear that a lot of people saying that, like, well, society is like too fucked up for me to like, settle down or whatever, have kids.
Yeah, I mean, trying is difficult. It's really difficult, right? As when people turn you down, it does not feel good.
That is true. Sometimes you just kind of have to take shots in the dark and just kind of hope that, just understand that, like, there is a high chance of you getting turned down, right? You want to call it?
No. Do you have anything else written down, by the way? You see, I'm waking up again.
No, that was the only one. That was the only one, but we can keep going.
Okay. Well, I wanted to go into that because I think that...
Yeah, but why don't we talk? This is a good topic because I think a lot of people in chat are kind of trying to figure things out with like marriage and relationships.
Well, and I think a lot of your audience probably has wives that they're perfectly.
A lot of them do, yeah.
Yeah, I was in another stream and I was talking about how great Simone is, and people were like, "Stop bragging!" And it's like, no, like this is good. Like we need to normalize guys talking about how great their wives are, because when you guys hear, you normalize the behavior, right? Every guy should be talking about how great their wife is, right? Because it makes women feel good about themselves, first of all. And two, it normalizes for other guys that there are women like that out there, and that this is something not just that we should want, but like imagine there's two scenarios. There's the way our parents talked about women. They said they were ball and chains. What a psychotic thing to say about your wife, right? Like somebody who has dedicated their lives to trying to make your life better, to raising your kids, and you talk about them as like a freaking torture mechanism, right?
Yeah.
And then you can go the other way and be like, my wife is amazing. She's a great person for these very specific reasons. And then other guys want to say, and then guys start to think, okay, I understand like the herd of women is out there, but if I can just isolate one, not that women may not destroy your life, they might. Which is why you should be very selective, which is why you should put a lot of time into how you vet things. And it's also why you shouldn't overvalue looks. In my community, this is one of the things that I always see, and it fucking kills me. They're like, well, I want to find a woman who's hot enough for me, right? Like I'm going to Latin America, and I'm like, that's going to end fucking terribly. You're looking for somebody who wants a visa. Yeah, that's fantastic. A visa and a rich American, like a setup for getting eventually dumped or murdered. Why not just murder you? Then they get everything. Have standards to be realistic.
Chat literally said that future retcon said they're gonna end up getting murdered. Yeah, fuck.
Because so many guys I've seen, they just have completely unrealistic standards. Like your wife, like I'm gonna be honest here, doesn't need to be that hot. It's not that relevant to your daily life quality. What should you be betting for? Sanity and hard work. Like that's the main two things: sanity and hard work.
That seems like the opposite of what people are looking for. I feel like people look for, crazy dream girl. Oh
yeah, they saw like the whatever girl from those shows. What are they called? The Scott Pilgrim versus the World girl. What are they called?
Scott Pilgrim? Yeah.
No. They're called the Manic Pixie Dream Girl. Pixie Dream Girl. And they're like, yeah, I want a crazy girl. Or like they're like, oh, Harley Quinn is hot. I want a girl like that. No, you don't. You don't. You want a girl like Raftalia, okay? Raftalia is a good wife. That's a decent girl.
Okay, cool. This is a good thing. What? Okay, so which anime waifus should people model? Because we have a big anime audience here. It's VTubers, obviously. Which anime waifus should people model, like what they would want to go for? Like, so it's easy for people to understand.
Yeah, okay. I'll tell you the one who reminds me the most of Simone. It's Varric and Zuli from the Korra Avatar reboot. You get a girl like Zhu Li, like, and a lot of people are like, oh, she's too obedient. She does too much to try to get me to like her. No, that's who you want. Actually, we're gonna go outside of anime again. Starship Troopers, Diz, marry Diz, you fucking idiot. Diz is obviously the right girl. I don't care that Cameron is hotter. I don't care that Cameron is more competent. Diz is going to be there for you, okay? Diz is going to be there for the kids. Starship Troopers is just like about the girl you don't choose and the girl you do choose. There are, for so many guys, there's been some girl who was really into you. And maybe because she was into you, or maybe because she was a little overweight, or maybe because whatever else, you're just like, well, I'm too good for her. No! That's the girl who's going to make your life awesome. And if she is really into you and she's a little overweight, or she's got a little issue here or there, you can sit down with her and be like, let's work on that.
You got to groom her, right?
Groom her, right, yes.
Get that fat ass in gear. That's right. That's in this song.
Somebody says Diz was the guy in the book. I don't care, Diz was the guy in the book. In the movie, Diz was awesome, right? And I think that she represented a type of girl that so many guys dismiss. I mean, obviously in real life, Diz is usually not as attractive, but, you know, but the other thing is hard work is so big in women and people just do not respect it, right?
I feel like nobody goes for that. I feel like it's usually, you know, you stay home and just, you know, you do the house thing and then nothing else, right?
Right. And when you see a woman who has a drive to work, that I think is a really positive sign. The other sign is general sanity and emotional awareness, which is like not that much. Hard work and sanity, and you've got a perfect wife. Because everything else you can train.
You gotta groom your wife for the rest.
Yeah, the rest is just grooming, right? And somebody said attractive women don't have to care. Yeah, but anything being overly attractive is just like mentally fucks her up. Keep in mind what it's like to be an attractive girl. Like, okay, so you're an attractive girl and you're going through high school and something doesn't go your way, so you cry. You get attention, it's reinforced. Somebody's mean to you, so you act hurt, you get attention. You throw a fit, you get attention. You do anything negative, anything like that, you get attention, right? And so it messes up your brain.
Jeez.
And so you become an adult and you can train them out of all of that, but it's not easy.
What are some other anime girls you think?
Oh yeah, okay, so over anime girls. So I was thinking non-anime there, so I'm thinking anime girls that I love. Good anime girl is the girl from Goblin Slayer. He's really stupid for not wifing her up.
You mean the priest or the cowgirl?
The farmer, the
farmer,
cowgirl.
yeah. Dude, she's the best. I fucking love her.
Yeah, cowgirl. Everyone's like cowgirl. You know what she's about. She's very dedicated to him. She's very sane. She doesn't, ask for luxuries. She's just, wants a decent life, and he thinks he's too good for her.